Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. Today we are looking at one of the most talked about products in a long time, and that is a magic app this time. That is Cognito by Lloyd, Barnes and Murphy's Magic. Now this is an awaited review. I had my hands on it since the early access, and I was even in the group during the beta testing. Wasn't a beta tester myself, but I was in the group to see people's impressions. And I know that a lot of you are kind of, wary about the overhype of the product. So don't worry, stick around. I'll talk to you through the entire app, everything you need to know for you to make a good purchase. Stick around and let's hop into the intro. So you've stuck around, which means that you're interested in learning more about Cognito. So first of all, what is Cognito? I can't, of course, do you a performance because I'm filming the video with my phone, but I can tell you what the app does and how it would play out. So essentially, I'll give you a small routine, and just imagine I have a phone. You would go up to someone and tell them that you have a list of horoscopes on your phone in your picture library. You show them your home screen, you click on the pictures, it pops up the horoscopes. You tell them if they know their horoscope, of course, they're going to say, for the sake of argument, yes. They look through the list, they find their horoscope, and you tell them that you're going to give them your phone, and they're going to scroll through the lists of different horoscopes, and every time their horoscope pops up, for them to take a moment, read the horoscope carefully, and think if it applies to them. And if they don't see their horoscope, just skip the image. So they're gonna do that process. So every time they see their horoscope, they take a minute to read it and think about if it's true. And every time they don't, they skip. They do that across all the pages in your picture library. When they're done, you immediately know what their horoscope is through different methods at your choice that we're going to get into. But that is essentially the effect. And it's not only limited to horoscopes, it works with direct revelations in the images themselves of cards. You can do it with horror icons. You can do it with drawing duplications. There's a ton of options, and we're going to get to that just in a moment. But that's essentially what the app does, is I'll give it to you in one phrase. It's through different input methods, anything that the person thinks about that they see on your initial picture on the screen, through the inputs that they do afterwards or that you do, you will ultimately know what they were thinking of from the start. That's essentially in one phrase summarizing the app and what it does. Now, where do you buy this and how much does it cost? This costs $29.99 US dollars, around 40 Canadian dollars, and it's available at every magic store in probably the world because of how big the app was. So I bought mine from Saturn Magic because they were one of the first magic retailers that sold it in early access, and they also had how do you call that? They also had a small discount on it, which made the app a little bit cheaper for me. Especially, I paid $30 Canadian for it, whereas if I would have bought it from another retailer at launch on Friday, I would have paid over 50. So I got a good rebate on that from Saturn Magic. Everything was smooth, but that's where I bought mine. But you can find yours at Vanishing Ink, Penguin Magic, Hocus Pocus, basically any magic store that sells downloadables, you will get this product available there. Now, this is going to be a different review than most because the difficulty and some of the other stuff I talk about are rather short. So I'm going to tell you exactly what you get when you purchase it, and then we'll make a new segment where I'm just going to talk about the app itself. So that's going to be the major segment that you want to stick around. But let's just do this. So what do you get when you purchase it? You get the app, you get your account, and you get an instructional video, which is around an hour and 25 minutes with Lloyd Barnes talking you through the input methods, the justification, how you can make this look believable, how to set it up, how to set your home screen, how to do new lists, new images, and all of that in the video. But the most important thing that you get is the Facebook group, which currently has over 70 extra routines that you can directly import into your app directly from Facebook. So all you have to do is, once you buy the app and you join the group, there's going to be a file section. You go into the file section, you look at the routines. If you like one, you download it onto your phone. You go in the app, you click import, boom, a new routine is on the app. That is fantastic. But I'll keep the the talk about the Facebook group in the upcoming section, but that's essentially what you get. You get the Facebook group, the app and the account, and the instructional video for your 30 bucks. Now let's get into the meat of the app. So what I want to say about the app is, first, I told you what the routine is, but you can customize it to entirely whatever you want. There's a brilliant routine that I saw on the group that I downloaded myself, which was with tarot cards. There was a brilliant one that I liked with drawing duplications. I found that to be so cool. There was another one that I liked that fits my love for horror. It was essentially horror movies. There's another one with snaps by David Jonathan. It's kind of a routine mixing that concept with the app, which is really cool. I got that one too. There's a one with movies, children movies, Disney movies. There's so many routines. There's ESP. This is, I think, to me, the biggest bonus of the app itself. It's essentially the Facebook group and the apps and the files that they create to make the app better, and the activity of Lloyd in the group with everyone else that worked on the app is phenomenal. They take the ideas that people tell them and that people do like, and they include them immediately. I bought the app, I think, on Saturday, and people were like, "Oh, it would be nice to be able to import lists." And by Monday, the app was already updated with the import list. That was fantastic. So I think that's a really good bonus about this app, is that the community is really strong and Lloyd is really committed with the app. So you will get really good support with the app going forward. Now let's talk about the input methods. So there's different input methods. There are some new that are being added constantly. So when the app came out, there was only, I believe, 2 or 3, and now there's 4 or 5. I don't know exactly because I only use 2 of them that I prefer. I don't really dabble into the other ones. But there's constant input methods that are getting added, and they vary from you using it yourself. So you're the one inputting secretly the things that you need, or they do it themselves. So those are the different input methods. But nonetheless, I want to specify this, is that the input methods are done on your phone, and there's a good justification to that. It's because it's your pictures. Lloyd tells this in the instructions. You're not going to go up to someone and tell them, "Hey, I want to perform you a magic trick. Do you mind if I airdrop you or I send you via email some pictures?" You know, it feels weird. That feels unnatural. It feels much more natural being like, "I got these pictures on my camera roll here. You see these?" That feels much more natural. So I do feel that the fact it's on your phone is not really a drawback. I know for some people that is, but for me, I don't really think that's a drawback that the app and inputs are done on your phone, because it's your pictures, it's your property. So I feel that's justified. Now we've talked about the input, what the app is, the Facebook group and the creativity around it. We've talked about the instructions. So the last thing I wanna kind of talk about is also the fact that the app offers some extra benefits. So you don't only get the input methods for you to know, you can also get peak methods. So by peak methods, you can get, as of now, 3. You can get an audio peak, you can get a watch peak that works both with Android and iPhone. And I forgot to mention this, but this is available on Android and iPhone on both platforms, and works great as well. And the other one is with a confederate. So you also get peak methods that help you do effects in different ways. So I think that's really brilliant too. This app has a lot of things that you can use it for in different scenarios. I'm going to talk to you about that just in a bit, but this is essentially what I wanted to kind of go over the app. I just want to tell you guys quickly about the input methods, about the fact that it's on your phone. I want to talk to you about the Facebook group, about how the app works, about the different things you can do with it, and the different peaks. I just wanted to say this because now we're going to move fast through the different other categories that I do through my normal reviews. The first one is difficulty. Is this difficult to perform? No, not at all. I'd say easy to medium. The inputs that you do yourself are super easy, almost self-working, super easy. And the inputs that the spectator does, in my opinion, could be a little bit in the medium side, because you do need to explain it well and to justify why they're doing what they're doing. I think that's important. You have to justify through your words why they're doing what they're doing, because if not, it's going to be fishy. And you also have to hope that they take enough time and that you know with your pattern how much time you would allocate them to do the inputs themselves. So I would put those maybe in the medium side because I wouldn't see a novice just picking up the app and being able to do those without it looking fishy. That's all I'm going to say. Now let's move into the practicality. Is this practical? This just uses your phone. You carry around your phone with you all the time. So of course this is practical. It's on your phone all the time. Now let's talk about where you perform this. So this is mostly performed for close-up, for table hopping, for casual performances, for street magic. I wouldn't see this play out on stage or parlor, but I do see playing this app as a pre-show for stage and parlor. If you're doing pre-show, I do see how this could work as a pre-show. You tell someone, look, remember this picture, you do the process, and at the end you tell them, perfect, please don't forget it. I'm gonna try and build a connection with you during the show at one point. Just remember that, and then you can do an insane drawing duplication or insane horoscope or date of birth reveal in your show if you use this as a pre-show tool, which I find is pretty interesting. So keep that in mind. Now that pretty much covers my entire review. Let's give the positives and negatives and directly give you guys the verdict. So what are the positives? The positives are the plethora of input methods that you have, the different methods of peak, the fact that this is always ready to go with you, the fact that the Facebook group is incredible. It's insane how good it is. The fact that you can do this with so many different routines. It's incredible how many routines people are thinking of, and even I am thinking of. It's also really easy to import or create your new lists. The app guides you step by step, and Lloyd does it really well himself in the instructional video, which is another bonus. There's constant bug fixes and input methods and new things added all the time. The layout of the app is really easy to use. It's super easy to use and really looks clean and slick. There's no mumbo jumbo in it. It's super nice. Now, about the negatives, there's not many that I could think of, but there is just one or two. First, I know there's some people that hate magic apps. So if you hate magic apps, then, I mean, this is kind of a self-explanatory thing. You won't like this app. If you hate magic apps and this is a magic app, you won't like it. Pretty much simple as. There's also the thing of it being done on your phone. If you're really adamant of things not being done of your phone because it's fishy, then I don't know how I can sway you away from the fact that it doesn't look fishy in the way that you perform this specific effect. But if it does really bother you and it doesn't justify it, keep in mind that this is performed on your phone only. And the last thing is about the negatives is that those are all the negatives. That's the last thing I have to say about the negatives. There's only two that I could stretch and kind of argue for. Now let's get directly into the verdict. So for the people that are more interested into a verdict of words, I'm going to tell you that this app is worth the $30. It does what it does. I don't know about it being the best magic app ever created. I don't own all magic apps, and I do own some of them that I prefer over this app. So I don't think that is the best magic app ever created, but it is an incredible one and one that is definitely worth your money. And one that I would recommend you purchase if it interests you. It does what it says it does, and it is as good. But again, the marketing, best magic app ever created, that could be put under scrutiny. But it is a good app. And for people that are more numerical, I would give Cognito by Lloyd Barnes a 9 on 10. I think that's really fair. It's a really good app. It deserves the rating. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Cognito. I hope this was informative in some way. I know it kind of detracted a bit from my usual structure of magic reviews, but I hope it was still pretty good and still informative enough for you guys to get a decision about how the app works and kind of what you have to know before clicking buy. Thank you so much for watching the review, and thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and all of that. And I'll see everyone in my next review. Unfortunately, my package of Midas Touch and In Case of Emergency by Adam Wilber got heavily delayed. I was supposed to get it 2 weeks ago, and I've still not yet received them. I did promise you guys I will do reviews on those, but I've still yet to receive the package. But don't worry, when I do, those are going to come directly onto YouTube and directly as a review for you. Nonetheless, I won't keep you much longer. Thank you so much for watching and see you in another one. Bye bye.